Welcome to another riveting episode of the BERGS board, where we put things on the board, folks. In this episode, I just came up with 21 examples of the catchphrases that I've been using on the board since December 2017 when I came in here. Okay? This guy, Mr. T, who has infiltrated the community. He's not Boyd. He'll never be real Boyd. Okay? And the bottom line is this. He has stolen all of my catchphrases, and he basically, his whole show is me. Okay? I mean, I don't even know why he calls himself Mr. T. He should just call himself the BERGS Show 2.0, because that's what he is. He's the biggest copycat of all time. I came up with 21 examples real quick. Okay. And the ones that maybe I got from Elbow or I was influenced, I will mention those. Okay. Number one, he gone. I came up with that. I brought that to the boy. He uses it all the time. She gone. He uses it all the time. You could also say they gone, it gone for Herman O. Munster, okay? Okay, LMTUSF. Let me tell you something, folks. Now, Elbow, he was saying that a little bit, but I was saying it at the same time. I think that was just a coincidence. He says it all the time, Mr. T. Elbow, he's gone. Okay, so he's really ancient history at this point, okay? He's been terminated for over a year. Okay, you can put it on the board. I brought that. I brought that here, folks. He uses it all the time. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I came up with that, okay? That was something that people in New Jersey would say when I was growing up. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Okay? I'm going to take on all yous. He and Mr. T will claim that he came up with all these. He didn't come up with any of them. Okay? Okay, the next one, number 6. The bottom line is this. Okay? Now, Elbow will say that he created that. I've been saying the bottom line is probably since the 1980s. So, I grew up, watching WWF in the 80s. Elbow watched it in the 90s. So, some of these things really are just a coincidence. Because, you would hear certain wrestlers saying that. I think, I don't know. I think Randy Macho Man Savage used to say, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, Hogan. Okay. Let's see. Number 7. I've said this many times. I went down to the riverside and I washed my hands clean, right? I got revitalized. I got reinvigorized. I got burgerized. I got monetized. I got baptized. He has stolen that from me. And then he does his little variation, number 8. Let me tell you something, Burger Boy. Okay, number 9, I came up with this. We don't top line anything here at the BERGS Show. We bottom line it all. He says that all the time, okay? Let's see. Number 10, I brought this because I used to I used to study Scientology on my own. I'm not a Scientologist, but I had a friend, okay, who went to a rehab center called Narcanon one time, like 15 years ago, and it was and they didn't know it, but it was run by the Church of Scientology, which is really a cult. And he would tell me all this stuff, and come up to present time is one of the things that they do in there. He uses that all the time. Okay, he calls his little thing there, third base. I came up with that name. It was me, Kimberly Star with one eye. I came up with that. And he uses it all the time. He'll say he came up with Kimberly Stab with 1 R. I came up with that. See, I'm like remembering more as I'm like talking right now, okay? Third base, I came up with that, remember? Because I used to go on his panels all the time. It was Mark, Kimberly Star with 1 R, and me. Okay, and that's when Mark was always, he was going nuts talking about threes. It's all about threes. And I said, okay, well, if, Maggots has home base, why don't we have third base? Okay, you're nothing but trash. I came up with that. I've been saying that for years. Now, he kind of made it his own a little bit, saying, you're nothing but trash. Okay, And I will say, okay, he did come up with, not today, Satan, but he told me one time on a private call, he actually stole that from somebody else. Okay, light me up, folks. Light me up, folks. I've been saying that for over 3 years. Okay, light me up. Okay, hold on. Who's going to put it on the board? Okay, I came up with all that. Light me up like a Christmas tree. Now, actually, I got that from Tucker Poon. Because Tucker became a UG beggar, as you know. And one time, he actually said that. Light me up like a Christmas tree, okay? I think I added the folks. Light me up like a Christmas tree, folks. And he also talks like, I came up with this style of talking, how I talk like this. Light me up like a Christmas tree, oh, baby. He talks like that all the time. Okay, woo. Number 16, woo. Okay. Elbow, maybe I got that from Elbow, but Elbow got that from Ric Flair. Okay? And then I started saying woo, 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 woo. And that's what he does all the time. Okay? Hard block. That's a hard block. Actually, Salty Dog. Jill actually came up with that one. But he didn't hear it from her. He heard it from me. Bed slug, I came up with that. He calls me a bed slug. No, I came up with it first. Okay, this past summer, I came up with the whole bummer of the summer. Okay, and then he hijacked that from me. Okay, you the biggest bummer of the summer. I came up with that. Number 21. Okay, Elbow was saying for years, pay your taxes to your king. And I would say, show some love to your emperor. Show me some love. Mr. T has stolen that. And actually, Elbow stole that from me also, because if you remember, when Elbow was still around at the end, he would say, come on, everybody, show me some love and pay your taxes to your king. So that's basically, folks, 21 examples of Mark, of Mr. T, hijacking my show. He's the biggest copycat and loser down here. And with that being said, your Emperor 55, do or die. The greatest man in the history of the world, the Italian Stallion, the king of swing, the interstellar galactic pimp from the planet Bergatron is...